Hello, Ben. I'm a big fan, but I had a little disagreement. So, mislabeling arguments as being in prejudice when they aren't, I'm sure we can have productive discussions. As I'm sure you agree, labeling something as racist when it's purely descriptive of fact or situation is unproductive and is, of course, logically fallacious. That being said, aside from explicit statements targeted at Jewish people due to the fact that they are Jewish, why does it follow that when an individual criticizes certain human rights violations, and I'm talking about like in a political sense, not the Kanye stuff, of course, rights violations occurring in Israel, it's anti-Semitic. So I'll say in certain instances you made it accurate descriptions, but an example where I'd argue no anti-Semitism was involved was where you tweeted about 2 years ago about Raphael Warnock was anti-Semitic for claiming Israeli violence existed in tragic circumstances. But why is that not?
I'm sorry, it sort of broke up there. So first of all, I'd want to re-examine what context was as to what Raphael Warnock said. I don't frankly recall the exact comment that I labeled anti-Semitic, so forgive me if I don't have that on direct recall. My understanding was that he was making claims about human rights violations in the midst of the Gaza war, perhaps, that was a dramatic recapitulation of Hamas propaganda, but I may be getting that wrong. So I don't want to speak to a comment that I frankly don't remember particularly well. If you get me the comment later, I'm happy to respond to it. As far as the idea that you can disagree with Israeli activity without being an anti-Semite, of course that's true. You can disagree with French activity without being anti-French. I mean, the thing that becomes anti-Semitic when it comes to anti-Israel activity is when you suggest, one, the state of Israel has no right to exist as opposed to every other state on the planet. Two, that Israel's an apartheid state when it dramatically is not. Three, when you lie about the things that Israel is doing in order to essentially undermine its raison d'etre. When you suggest that Israel is directly targeting civilians en masse, for example, in the middle of wars where Israel is using some of the most sophisticated and precise technologies possible in the history of humanity in order to not kill civilians. So that sort of stuff, when you're deliberately misinterpreting the fact pattern in order to slander Israel with human rights abuses, that borders on or is anti-Semitism. When you're just pointing out that human rights abuses happen in every country, and here is an example of an Israeli human rights abuse, then of course that's not anti-Semitism, that's just a description of what's happening.